Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share some tips with you on how you can capture some better B-roll, both for free as well as an option if you want to invest in upping your B-roll game. Specifically, I'm talking about how to pull off those rack focuses and achieve that super shallow depth of field look. There are two ways to pull off that shallow depth of field look. The first is free, and the second usually costs a lot of money. The first method revolves around positioning your subject closer to the lens and further from your background. The way it works is the closer the focus plane is to the image sensor, the blurrier the background will be. So right now, the bokeh circles are pretty small. Right now, when the camera is focusing on me, I'm about halfway between my camera and the Christmas tree. But if I walk towards my camera, then our out of focus elements will get larger because the camera is focusing on a plane closer to the camera. So now if I step to the side, you'll see how much larger our out of focus elements are. This is the reason why a lot of people want a full frame camera, because to get the equivalent framing between a crop sensor camera and a full frame camera on the same lens, you need to move the crop sensor camera further away. And this will change the focus plane and make it such that you don't get as blurry of a background. Now the second option for getting a shallower depth of field is by spending some money and getting a lens that opens up to a wider aperture, that being a smaller number when you look at the lens. Right now, I'm filming on my kit lens. It's the 18-135 millimeter lens that came with my camera. And right now, I'm filming at f5.0 for my aperture number. And that's a pretty small opening. I'll throw a picture on screen here to show you the difference between the shallow depth of field and the f-stop number. What we're more looking for is a very wide open aperture or a very small number. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to swap over to the lens that I would recommend everyone buy after they have their camera and their kit lens if they're looking to get more of a shallow depth of field and take higher quality portraits as well as B-roll. Going to be the Canon 50mm f1.8. This lens is super cheap at coming in at barely over $100, and it provides a super crazy shallow depth of field. Normally, lenses like this go for upwards of $1,000+. So to get one for this cheap is crazy. It really helps you pull off that shallow depth of field and increase the blurriness to your photos. Right now, I am shooting at 50mm on my kit lens at f5.0. Right now, what I'm gonna do is swap over to my 50mm prime, and we're gonna compare the difference. Here we are on the 50mm. Right now, we are at the same settings, which is 1/50th of a second, f5, ISO 6400. Sorry if it's not perfectly in focus right now. Right now I'm going on manual focus. So what I'm going to do next is now stop all the way down to f1.8, and we're gonna see how much bigger the bokeh is in the background, as well as how much less green we have in our image, because we're going to lower our ISO to compensate for all that light coming in due to that bigger opening. Now here we are at the same focal length, same lens, same distance to the camera. And we can see that there is a huge improvement in the shallowness of our depth of field. AKA, the background is way more blurred and our out of focus elements are much larger. This is the look we're going for when we attempt to rack focus in our B-roll. The shallower our depth of field, the more cinematic our footage looks, and therefore the higher quality B-roll we'll have as a result of it. The final tip that I want to share is that you should combine the tips. So whether you pick up this lens or a different prime lens that has an even wider open aperture, I would recommend you always try and increase the distance from your subject to the background. That is, if you're trying to go for that shallow depth of field look. If you're doing a landscape, no, this won't be for you, but usually how I shoot my B-roll is I like to shoot tight, compressed shots where I have my focus on my subject and my background blurs away. It can help you hide a distracting background and it will help you focus on just your subject. I hope these tips have helped you, and if you got anything out of it, please consider pressing like and dropping a comment to let me know what you thought. This is going to do it for today's video. This has been Vlogmas Day 21. Hard to believe there's only 10, 11 days left, almost down to single digits. Again, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you tomorrow for Vlogmas Day 22.